Hi, I'm Savannah.
And I'm Nathan, and today we'll be discussing wild and crazy topics such as Burke's Dramatism, the Pentad, and the mnemonic device that we think can be used to explain the relationship between those two.
We'll be using a scene from the movie Forrest Gump in which Lieutenant Dan decides to make his peace with God to help illustrate our points.
So just remember, Lieutenant
Lieutenant
Dan
Dan
jumped
jumped
into
into
the
the
water
water
ASAP.
ASAP.
Right. So a good place to start is the word dramatism and its definition. Now, from our textbook, dramatism is defined as language as action that makes explicit the idea that our thoughts and ideas are never free from the language that we use to frame them. Another way we describe it is by saying the reasons why people do the things that they do. So, to illustrate this point, we've decided to use a scene from the movie Forrest Gump, in which Lieutenant Dan makes his peace with God. And so for copyright reasons, I can't show this clip here, but I have drawn my own version of this scene, Lieutenant Dan in the water making his peace with God. And the way we apply dramatism to this situation is the words said by Forrest Gump to describe what Dan is doing. When I first saw this scene, I originally thought, oh shoot, that's the last we're going to see of this particular character. I thought it meant a form of suicide. We're not seeing him for the rest of the movie. Thankfully, later on, we see that it's actually a term used to describe a kind of baptism. So, the language making peace with God, and the full weight of that term applied to his character based on the history in the movie is all summed up in one phrase, and making peace with God in the ocean.
Thanks, Nate. So, Kenneth Burke believed that all of life was drama. It was a stage. And we discovered the motives of actors or people by looking for their particular type of motivation in action and discourse. In order to do this, he set up the Pentad, which are 5 questions to ask of any discourse to begin teasing out their motive. There are 5 parts to the Pentad, hence Pent, 5. They are act, scene, agent, agency, and purpose. The act is what happened. What is the action? What's going on? The scene is what other elements are going into that scene. What's the context? The agent is not the people that are acted upon, but somebody who has the ability to do something within the scene. Agency is how things are getting done. Does someone have a certain expertise in a subject or anything else? And the purpose is what is the moral of the story? Why do things get done?
So let's apply dramatism and the Pentad to our scene from Forrest Gump. So the scene is that Lieutenant Dan is making his peace with God. That's the dramatism. That's the weight of the language being used to describe the situation. Then you have the act, the literal action of Lieutenant Dan jumping into the water, and all that implies. You also have the fact that he did it on his own intuition. There's nobody pushing him in. There's no situation that is causing him to jump. He is doing so of his own decision and his own willpower. There's also the setting around him, the sky, the water, the general mood of the scene that all comes into that language of peace. And lastly, there's also the moral. Why does Lieutenant Dan feel that he needs to jump into the water and make his peace? Why is a baptism necessary? And for that, you have to watch the rest of the movie. But so all of this together provides an incredibly thorough way of examining this and other pieces of literature. You take dramatism and analyzing the language, and you take the Pentad to help describe all the rest.
We came up with a little phrase to help remember the Pentad and dramatism. Lieutenant Dan jumped into the water ASAP. Lieutenant Dan's scene helps you remember dramatism. Lieutenant Dan didn't just make peace with God. It's also how he did it and the meanings behind his words, why he chose the words he did. And ASAP helps you remember the Pentad. Act, scene, agent, agency, and purpose. ASAP. We hope you enjoyed watching, and we hope that you go study for the exam ASAP.